We're checking out Risk of Rain 2 to see if it's worth your time in 2024. By the end of this video, you'll know if this action-packed roguelike is still a must-play or one to skip. Risk of Rain 2 is an action-packed roguelike third-person shooter that throws you into the deep end from the get-go. The game takes place on a dangerous alien planet teeming with bizarre creatures and deadly environments that both enthrall and terrify. Your mission is simple: survive. But as you'll quickly discover, that's easier said than done. Since its initial launch back in 2020, Risk of Rain 2 has undergone numerous updates, each enhancing its mechanics and expanding the roster of survivors, enemies, and bosses. The developers have done a remarkable job making the game world more robust and challenging, but that's where the charm lies. Every run is a new adventure, thanks to the procedurally generated environments. This means no two games will ever be the same. But what truly sets the game apart? It's the exponential difficulty curve. With every passing minute, the game becomes more challenging, forcing you to balance the risk and reward of exploring versus pushing forward to the next level. This mechanic ensures that every decision matters, making each successful run exhilarating. At its core, Risk of Rain 2 builds on the foundation laid by its predecessor. The original game was a 2D roguelike with a heavy emphasis on effective item usage and quick reflexes. Risk of Rain 2 takes this to the next level with a third-person perspective, but the gameplay remains just as challenging and addictive. The goal of each run is to survive by completing levels filled with waves of enemies and powerful bosses, all of whom get stronger the longer you play. As you navigate each level, your primary objective is to find the teleporter that will take you to the next stage. Along the way, you'll come across a variety of unique and powerful items that can drastically change how your run plays out. When you start a run, you choose a character from a roster that gradually expands as you complete specific challenges. Each character has a unique play style, and experimenting with different survivors is highly recommended. Even your loadouts and items are locked behind these challenges, which is standard roguelike fare. In the beginning, you have no items and only your base loadout. To get stronger, you'll need to kill enemies or find money in pillboxes, which can be used to open crates scattered around the map. These crates contain items that range from common to extremely rare. And the best part? Items stack. This can lead to some pretty broken builds that we'll dive into later. So, why do you need all this firepower? Because of the game's main hook. As time progresses, the enemies get tougher. This forces you to be strategic, as spending too much time on one stage can result in you facing unbeatable bosses later on. Beginners often spend too long on the first stage, only to find themselves overwhelmed by the difficulty spike in the next level. Each run consists of 6 levels set in large, randomly generated biomes. This randomness extends to item locations and what those items will be, ensuring that no two runs are ever the same. This constant variation feeds into that dopamine rush you get from discovering a powerful item combination, and it keeps you coming back for more. Speaking of items, Risk of Rain 2 has a massive selection, each with its unique effects. Pairing items together can result in some insanely powerful builds, and figuring out these combinations is half the fun. This brings us back to the broken builds. If you're a fan of creating devastating item combinations that allow you to unleash massive damage, Risk of Rain 2 is your playground. Items not only stack, but can also synergize with each other, creating godlike builds that make you feel unstoppable. On the performance front, Risk of Rain 2 runs buttery smooth even on mid-tier systems. The game's cel-shaded graphics might not appeal to everyone, but they serve a purpose. The muted background colors and simple designs make it easier to track the chaotic action on screen. The sound design is another standout aspect. Chris Christodoulou's soundtrack is almost as popular as the game itself, with its banging guitar tunes that build up as the difficulty increases. The music adds a layer of intensity to the gameplay that can't be understated. While some might find the soundtrack a bit jarring, it really amps up the experience. That said, Risk of Rain 2 is also a game that pairs well with your own music. Whether it's heavy metal, techno, or even the Batman soundtrack, Risk of Rain 2 excels when you're vibing to your favorite tunes. The in-game sound effects are solid, with each enemy having a distinct sound that can be recognized even amidst the chaos. Risk of Rain 2 shines in multiplayer, where you can team up with up to 3 friends. The chaos multiplies tenfold, and the sense of camaraderie as you and your friends tackle increasingly difficult enemies is unparalleled. The difficulty scales with the number of players, but that only adds to the fun. Multiplayer runs can be a bit hit or miss if you're jumping into random online sessions. Some players have been playing for years and might speed through maps, leaving you in the dust. But with friends, Risk of Rain 2 becomes a game of coordination and teamwork, making those boss fights all the more satisfying. One of the biggest strengths of Risk of Rain 2 is its replayability. Like most roguelikes, this game is designed to keep you coming back for more. Each run is a new experience, and the sheer variety of items, characters, and environments ensures that no two playthroughs are ever the same. If you're a fan of roguelikes like Dead Cells, Hades, or The Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain 2 will be right up your alley. The game's rhythm, once you find your groove, is almost meditative. There's a point where everything just clicks and you feel unstoppable. It's a bit like a driving or flying game. Once you're in the zone, it's hard to stop. Even after countless hours, Risk of Rain 2 still feels fresh. Whether you're experimenting with new builds, tackling higher difficulties, or just enjoying the chaos, there's always something to keep you hooked. Risk of Rain 2 is a dynamic, well-polished roguelike that excels in almost every aspect. It's fun, addictive, and offers a satisfying mix of skill and RNG. The game might not seem very deep at first glance, but trust me, it is. There are tons of secrets to uncover, all while you're running around like a madman, shooting everything in your path. So, is Risk of Rain 2 worth playing in 2024? It's a game that still holds up, with more content on the way and a dedicated community keeping it alive. Whether you're a veteran or new to roguelikes, Risk of Rain 2 is a game that should be on your radar. That's our review of Risk of Rain 2. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming reviews and updates. See you in the next video.